Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Shreya Gupta and I hope you are doing good and well. First of all, congratulations to all the students who have received the interview mail from the side of the Wipro. And I know that you all must be preparing for your interview and must be very confused like what to study and what not to study. What are the expected thing that they can ask you in the interview? So today I'll be helping you, and here are certain questions from the language C and Java, which they can ask you and which is expected that these questions can come. Okay, so let's discuss about the questions. See, in any interview there are basically three important parts, which I basically believe is your introduction part and your technical questions part and about your projects. Okay, so let's start with the Java language. Like, what are the expected questions that they can ask you? Like, oops concepts. Oops concepts is one of the most important concepts in Java. They can ask you about inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, encapsulation. So you can answer them by relating it with the real world example. So make sure you study each and every concepts very well. Okay, like they can also ask you the difference between Java virtual machine, Java development kit, and Java runtime environment. What is the difference between like method overloading and method overriding? What are static methods and static variables? What are the use of this keyword? This is a keyword. So what is the use of this keyword in Java? And there are also certain kind of reserve words in Java. So they can ask you what's the use of reserve keyword? Can we use reserve keyword as a variable name or a function name? So certain basics questions they can ask you in Java. So what is a function of constructor? They can also ask you to write or either to explain them the concept that what is palindrome number, how you will reverse it, which operator is used for what, like modulus operator is used for finding the remainder. So they can ask you certain kind of basic question, Armstrong number, Fibonacci series. So you must be knowing the working of the code, that how does code work and how does loop work. Okay, all that increment and decrement thing. They can also ask you about the difference between array and array list, different type of specifier like public, private. So when do we use public and private access specifier? What happens if we don't use that? So certain basic questions. And you can also read about collection in Java. So these are some of the basics question which they can ask you in your interview. Like after Java we will be seeing about what are the question that is expected to ask in C language. Okay, so in C language they can ask you about what is dynamic memory allocation, and they can also ask you about what are pointers, why do we use pointers, what are the use of printf and scanf function, difference between entry control loop and exit control loop, how does a loop work. They can also ask you one more thing, what why do we use break and continue, what is the recursion in C. Recursion is why do we use recursion in a program, void keyword, the difference between call by value and call by reference. Memory, how do we allocate the memory, what is static memory allocation, dynamic memory allocation, which I have already mentioned, what is calloc and malloc. Okay, so difference between local variables and global variables, what a format specifies in the C language. So these are certain kind of questions which they can ask you in C language. Okay, so basically I believe that most important part is the project. If you're going to mention about your project either in your resume or in your introduction, it's like 90% chance that they can ask you questions regarding the project. Because when I gave the interview of my Wipro, they have asked me more questions related to my projects, and certain 2 to 3 technical questions related to Java, since I mentioned them that I'm comfortable with the language Java. So I would request you, like please, if you are mentioning about your project, make sure that you know each and everything about your project. So they can ask you like which technologies you have used for making this project. If it was a group project or an individual project, then what was your part in that project if it was a group project. Suppose you are the group leader. Okay, so how did you prioritize the task in the project? Okay, how did you divide the things and the working? Okay, they can also ask you like while making a project, did you face any kind of issues or any kind of problem situation? Then how did you overcome that situation and how did you came into a conclusion? So these things are very important. Make sure that you prepare these answers from your project. And why did you use this topic only for the implementation of this project? They can ask you like, what was the, how did this idea come up, like you are going to make project in this topic, what is the duration of the project? They can also ask you these things. And make sure you mention the project only if you have prepared it and you know everything about the project. Okay, so this can also, like, they can also ask you only about the project, and this, and if you know everything about it, then I think that will be a very plus point for you. So I hope you will prepare well. And I would also suggest you certain kind of websites from where you can prepare the technical questions. Like you can prepare from Geeks for Geeks, from Java T Point, and you can also prepare from W3 schools. So these are certain kind of websites which will help you, and there certain kind of interview questions are also present. So I hope you will prepare well and wish you all the very best. And if you have any questions, you can ask, you can DM us on an Instagram handle, that is online learning underscore 153, or you can comment down below in the YouTube video, like comment section. We will be answering it there. You can, if you want, you can also give the mock interview in the TopMate website. The link we will be providing it in the description, so that you will get a kind of basic idea, and we can have one-on-one interaction about, and we can guide you that how you can give a proper kind of interview. So once again, all the very best, and hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.